What's the crack? Welcome back to the Irish Boys podcast. Back off for last week, which we skipped because I had car trouble, which sucked. As it does. And then Ireland went into the Euros, or World Cup, sorry.
Again?
Yeah. Don't know, one of those weeks. Anyway, shorter podcast for everyone this evening because United are off for.
And we've nothing to talk about.
Yeah. Villa game, maybe. Talk about the international break, what that looked like for the teams.
There's some great teams went through.
Pardon?
There's some great teams went through. Iraq, Bosnia, Turkey. Haven't been at the World Cup in years.
So this will be a good starting point, right? I think that's sort of shite.
No.
That those teams were given that sort of entry and qualification stage. Like, I looked at Ireland playing the Czech Republic, right? And as a proud Irish fan, neither of those two teams should be anywhere near an international tournament. What value do they add?
It's just prestige for the country and fans and stuff like that.
To me, it just smacks of money-making one. It's just an
it always is money-making.
Oh, yeah.
It is all good money. Yeah.
Again, 3 times in a row. Italy not qualifying. That's big for them.
Yeah.
Is that what it is? 3 World Cups in a row?
3 World Cups. I've seen someone put it up on Facebook earlier on. It was like Donnarumma has, I think he made his debut for Italy at 17 and he hasn't played at a World Cup. And he's 31. Like, that's
mental.
When you put it that way, it's like you think Italy would be there, one of the top teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is fair, isn't it?
It is. I'm sorry for them in a way too.
But yeah, I don't like that those teams are all like I can right. There's 2 sides to it. It's brilliant to see for those countries that they get through into a World Cup, but in my eyes, it diminishes the World Cup because so many teams are going to compete for it, right? And we all know it's going down to the expected 8. Like, if you look at the group formats and how they're separated from each other now, all of those smaller teams need to go through an absolute gauntlet to make a quarter-final or a semi-final. So all it's done is got more games into FIFA's bank, made them even more money, and we're still going to end up with the countries we know at the end of it competing for it, which will be exciting. But I just think I used to enjoy the group stages when they were tight and they were competitive, circa 2002, kind of when anybody could beat anybody. When Senegal went and shocked the world and beat the French. It was brilliant. But you're not going to get that this World Cup. You're going to see a lot of games where you're going to have 4, 5, 6 nils where the elites are going to be battering Iraq.
Yeah, and you're going to get games that people aren't going to watch because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the politics of it. It's a weird World Cup.
Yeah.
Well, still a summer football. It'll be entertaining at least, I think.
It is.
I'm yapping and crying, Kieran. I'll watch every game.
Oh yeah, I know you will. You're saying we sneaky accumulator, are we bad?
What sort of timings are the games on?
Oh,
sorry.
What sort of times are the games on? Because I remember when I was in Mexico, the United game was on at I think it was 3-4 o'clock for you back here. It was 9:30 in the morning for them.
It'll be the same in North America. You should look at all the Man United matches and those fans getting up at awful o'clock in the morning just to watch football. 3-4 o'clock in the morning. So it depends where they're playing in America as well. It'll all be TV orientated. You know that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just thinking that surely the biggest viewership is in Europe.
That's what I mean. That's what you're going to get those footballers kicking off at all hours. So wasn't that the case? Who was given off about it? Was it Ray Houghton? The last time he was in America, that they were playing in Florida at 3 o'clock in the day and stuff like that.
John Aldridge.
Yeah, well, one of them, yeah. But that was ridiculous.
I think he lost in the sidelines, if I can remember. Over the stewards are basically, the American stewards, not used to football at that stage in the 90s, were trying to remove the water bottles because they have standard water breaks in their American sports. And they were trying to take them away because the footballers kept coming to the sidelines. And John Aldridge lost the rag. It was like, it's it's 38 degrees. I can barely see through my sweat, and you're trying to remove the water bottles from the side of the pitch.
Yeah.
Well, it's going to be the same again then, this tournament.
The same thing. Water breaks.
They'll have to again. They'll have to take water breaks. And I think I read that they had, there's a bit of shared craftsmanship going on between them and Qatar as to how Qatar were able to air condition the pitches. Do you know those fans that raise out of the ground that sort of provide some level of comfort? So it'll be absolutely roasting for the fans in the stadiums, but the players should get some sort of reprieve. But if memory serves, in Qatar, wasn't there water breaks? If it hit a certain temperature, they allowed them a break to hydrate.
Yeah, halfway through the first half, I think.
Yeah, and weren't some of the players, weren't they sick with that cooling system?
Probably. I mean, it's...
Yeah, I think some of the players...
Conditioned birds. The same as blaming air conditioning.
It's artificial, is right.
Giving you the flu, you know.
Yeah. South American teams, so the benefit of South American teams as well, I think hotter countries, and it'll give them a slight bit of maybe an advantage later in the games as well.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know?
Yeah, 110. I think it is nice to see it be bounced around the continents. Vuvuzela's aside, I thought the African World Cup was fantastic. It was brilliant. It was a real celebration of what football should be. There's been a few that have been damn close. Qatar was a bit meh. Was Russia one of them? Yeah.
Moscow, yeah. It was
was Russia one of our lifetime?
Yeah.
Bit meh.
South Africa one, I think, is one of my favourites in recent memory. Was it 2010?
Yeah,
Africa,
I loved it.
Yeah, it was very good.
Yeah.
So there's a few enjoyable ones, like. But it'll be interesting to see.
Yeah, it has been good.
What about in speaking of the summertime? Do you hear where Croke Park and United over in Ireland?
Are United playing at Croke Park?
Yeah, apparently. Now, I'm seeing it all against Leeds on the 12th of August. Pre-season game.
Oh, that would be very good to go to.
Yeah, Saturday the 12th of August.
Did you get tickets for that one?
Well, yeah, I tell you what, folks, if Ireland are playing Leeds in Croke Park, then I'll try and get tickets for it.
No, United are.
Three of us will go down, podcast road trip.
Yeah, United playing Leeds.
Are United not coming over for a break in Ireland anyway?
Yes.
And there was talk that they were trying to have more of a domestic pre-season this season because of the impact that it has.
No, that's right. They're coming over. It's a mid-season because we're not playing until, God, was it another 10 days or whatever it is?
13.
So they're taking a break in Ireland.
Yeah, they're coming over this weekend, Mum.
Yeah, United aren't playing until the 13th.
Yeah, I've seen that. That's right.
So the 13th of April or the 13th of August?
13th of April.
United's next game.
Yeah, so sorry, so we're not getting confused. United play Leeds on the 13th of April, Monday night.
Yeah, football.
And then they're in Croke Park in August to play Leeds again.
Yes, pre-season.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leeds are not an easy proposition. Leeds are fighting relegation and have to fight tooth and nail to stay up. And they've dragged a few teams in round them with some major scalps and then fallen off again. But Leeds are always tough.
Yeah. The only thing I would say is they haven't got a great record against at Old Trafford, haven't they not? If memory serves. They're very much more decent at home at Elland Road. But away from home, they're a bit softer, I would say. You would think United should get over the line.
Who do you think goes through in the big FA Cup game on Saturday? City or Liverpool?
I think City.
Yeah. I'm not saying that because I can't stand Liverpool, but I do think City.
What does it mean for Liverpool's season if they go out of the FA Cup? I mean, they're still there in the Champions League.
Champions League are boss, but they seem to be going well in the Champions League at the minute. You know, Galatasaray is not a tricky opposition to get past, and especially in knockout football, and having to go there first, which they've done well to come through that. But
Yeah. Ten Hag didn't do too badly in Europe. There was a couple of really weird, wild results, but Ten Hag ball looked decent in parts in Europe because it's that slow, monotonous,
Yeah, it's
regurgitate
different.
the ball shite that I can't stand. That's the Dutch model, and I was so shocked when Arne Slot came in and Liverpool did what they did to win the Premier League. It was like, okay, I got that completely wrong. I thought Arne Slot was a carbon copy of Erik Ten Hag. Cruyff football. Let's move the ball around in a circle, and eventually the gap will open up, and the perfect pass will unlock the defense, and you'll score, and it'll look brilliant.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work in the Premier League. It's Premier League's too quick for it. But God, he's come back with a bang this year. Liverpool do not look good.
No, it seems as if, from the outside looking in, the more time he got on with the training pitch to get his way across, that the worse they got. It just doesn't work. It doesn't seem to work with that them players and that the style of football to be successful in the Premier League. I don't think that's why Ten Hag ultimately failed and went off a cliff. But done well in cup competitions, and as you said, a few good results in Europe against Barcelona. I think knocked Barcelona out of the. Is that right?
Yeah.
Was it Ten Hag or Amram, wasn't it?
Oh, Ten Hag.
Oh, wasn't it? Anthony scored the goal and knocked him out. Mr. Spinnerini.
Was that the Europa League?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I believe so. I remember the collar, the shirt with the jersey with the collar. I think that was the Ten Hag just before Ruben Amorim came in.
Yes. Yeah, Anthony, what a waste of player he was. Well, he's playing unreal for his club.
He's going to say that. In a league that suits him.
Yeah, in a league that suits him. So I think what we'll finish off with in what is going to be a shorter podcast this evening is a review of what has happened this year. Okay? So I'm going to ask a few questions to you and then listen to your opinions on them. First off, Joshua Sarkisy, player of the season.
Bruno Fernandes.
Oh, you changed now, have you? What happened to the big man?
Well, he hasn't even been playing now, has he?
No. Why do we think that is?
I don't know. Player in there somewhere.
I think when Michael Carrick took over and Joshua Sarkisy was relegated to like a third choice substitution, I was looking at it going, that was such a poor signing.
Yeah, he's not the only person.
Bruno Fernandes is undoubtedly the player of the season, by the way. So, Kieran, what do you think of the Joshua Sarkisy situation? What did you think of on a wider note, what did you think of the 5 players that were mentioned in the photo I sent across into the group chat? And for everyone's view, it was Manuel Ugarte, Casemiro, Joshua Sarkisy. Who were the other 2?
Højlund and Rashford.
Højlund, yes. And Marcus Rashford.
Yeah.
But that's obvious.
Is it though? Because apparently Barcelona are not willing to meet the estimation. They want Manchester United to either lower the price or allow them to take him on loan until his contract runs out, like Jadon Sancho. And then it'll come down to whether Rashford digs his heels in and just be an absolute Judas to us and says he wants to stay with Barca.
But he's said that already, Rory. He does not want to go back to Man United. So will Barcelona, pay up or not? He does not want to come back.
Yeah, it's strange. I've read that he'd be open, if Carrick was manager, he'd be open to coming back. But maybe that's just.
Yeah, see, depends who you read. Depends on the journalist. That's what it was a couple of months ago,
But I think United, in the United stance, they're confident that the way Rashford has performed, and we've seen how well he's been doing in the La Liga for Barcelona. Going for the league and everything, Champions League, they're more than happy to take him back, and they'll get a higher bid for him, which I don't think's unreasonable to think that after the season he's still 27, 28, to try and get 50, 60, 70 million in today's market for him instead of 28 million euro. I think it's smart business.
I watched him playing the England game, Kieran, and Hansi Flick has corrected what I think was Marcus Rashford's biggest flaw. He doesn't run from that deep anymore. He does come deep to help the team, then he moves the ball inside and wants it back, and then when he realises, I'm there's only one now, he takes off. He goes on this run, this spiralling run to try and get in and out. And I think that was just that's very clever management, just to teach him you don't have to run from the halfway line. If you pass inside and then make yourself a bit of room and they find you again, then you take off and you make yourself look better. So he was one of the brighter sparks for England the other night. And in my opinion, he's had a better season than Bryan Mbeumo. So if Rashford was to come back, it would only add to United's options. But as Mum says, he doesn't want to. I think he's been quite vocal that he wants to stay at Barcelona, that he doesn't want to come back into that team and that setup. So he's the only one I looked at the list and went, oh, that's awkward. Ugarte won't want to stay. He's a young man. He plays international football, and he's not going to get playing under Michael Carrick because he can't keep the ball.
Yeah, the Juventus are apparently in for him, apparently. One of the clubs.
He would suit Italy because he get more time on the ball. He looked very good in France when he had time on the ball. His passing wasn't as erratic. He wasn't giving the ball away as much. He's a fantastic ball winner. He works so hard, and when we were over watching him, he was one of the standouts for me in terms of his work rate, but he's so poor on the ball.
Yeah. I don't think he's a very adept Premier League midfielder. You know, he would need to have another one or two, you know, world-class midfielders to complement him, I think, to accommodate him if you were playing with Ugarte every week. And he just, you're expecting him to think, when United play him, they're playing him with Kobbie Mainoo or a Bruno Fernandes, they're expecting Ugarte to do a Casemiro, do his own game and then play a few different kind of ways that aren't his game. And the speed of the play and the tempo, I don't think are very good for his game. You know, we've shown flashes.
As Rory said, you know, break up play and pass it on.
Yeah, get rid of it. Just break it up and give it away.
Yeah.
So the question within the question then is, if Marcus Rashford does come back, would he be welcomed or shunned?
That's a good question. I think it'd be 50-50. I think some people would look at Marcus Rashford as the footballer, and other people would look at Marcus Rashford as the person and what he's done.
Yeah,
so. Sorry, Ken, go ahead.
No, you're right. No, you also like he's before he left, he's the boy that came to the academy. He was Mr. Poster Boy, Manchester United, you know, and I think the situation in which he left, and if he came back and then under a different manager and a different, the happier camp or a less toxic team, Garnacho's gone, different players are gone, that were maybe contributing to that, and the vibes are good, and we're in the Champions League, and and take what he's learned from Barcelona. If he does want to come back, I wouldn't be opposed to him coming back, but I can't see it the way he left. But I think it would depend more on what way the senior players react to how he left. If he did leave with Bruno or Harry or different players like that, welcome them back into the fold.
Yeah, I'm one of his biggest fans, but I just don't see it working at United now.
No.
Well, I haven't followed now his career since he left, but has there been any disciplinary problems with Barcelona?
No.
See, maybe it's a change of environment. It could be personal as well with him. He doesn't want to come back.
I think he had a brilliant relationship with the English media. I think he was very commendable when he put himself out there to talk about the school meals and stuff like that. But then he had such a spotlight on him, and they were following him everywhere, because the English media, as we all know, when you make a hero or a martyr of yourself, they are looking to tear you down. They want to see the fall so they can highlight it in spectacular fashion. And I think the way that his lifestyle was turning out in this country, it all got the best of him. Now, I'm being very pro Marcus Rashford in saying that, but that's my honest belief. And when you look at the player he was and what he could have been to what he became, I'm just delighted to see him do what he's doing in Barcelona. He's not ripping up trees. He's not the superstar. No one can turn around and say that he's guaranteed a spot in the Barcelona team, but he's definitely adding value. He's had a lot of assists, a lot of goals, and I thought he was very good for England. I thought he looked like, I don't think Tuchel can deny Rashford a spot on the plane, and I never would have thought that 2 years ago if he had stayed with us.
No.
So, as an ex-United Academy project, I just want the lad to do well.
Yeah, I think he done the best thing at the time for his career. At the end of the day, and you can't blame. You
He
can't
took
really
a big
blame him.
move and a gamble to go to a big club and shadow Rafinha. Rafinha is probably one of the best players in the world right now, probably a Ballon d'Or contender, and he's doing right. He's getting game time. Did anyone watch the England game last night?
I watched the end of it.
Okay, so this is a two-part question. Okay, first part: Kobe Mainoo, starter for Manchester United in the future or squad player?
I'm going to sit on the fence on that one.
At the minute,
I don't think he's the superstar that I'm making him out to be,
no. I think
or anywhere near it.
in the future, but at the minute, I would say squad rotation.
Yeah.
At the minute,
Yeah.
Like there's something there.
You didn't watch the England game, no?
I didn't say.
I only got the end, Rory. Not all about it.
He played centre midfield for most of the game with Elliot Anderson, right? And they were one of the tidier pieces of England's play last night, the two lads, and their interlinking play and the passing between each other and their willingness to run for each other. Cole Palmer was awful. Phil Foden probably won't get on the plane. If he wasn't living off his past reputation, he was terrible. But Elliot Anderson stood out for me.
And he's having a standout season.
There. And he's not afraid to play the dangerous pass. And he's more accurate than inaccurate with his dangerous pass. And he sees things and reacts on them very quickly before players know what's happening. And that always gives you a yard of a pass where they're not going to read it. So it does seamlessly go through because no one has read that. So they're looking going, God, I didn't see that. Didn't know he was there. I would definitely take Elliot Anderson.
Yeah.
Ward's class act.
He's not
Ward and Anderson in the summer, and it'll be a very, very good transfer window game.
Yeah. Tonali's sort. I know we spoke about this last time. Tonali's all over the reports. Like Fritz Romano and all. You know, he's been talks again. Those last year, there is now in the recent weeks. Just discussing fees and on the player side if he would be open to the move. It's looking.
Newcastle are not getting European football this year.
No.
Which puts them in a precarious position because of FFP. So to have an effective transfer window, they will need to sell to buy. And if they have Guimaraes, Joe Linton and Lewis Miley, it begs the question, do they really need Guimaraes and Tonali, or do they have to give up one of their star pieces? Now, that's a mad statement in itself. Of course they need Guimaraes and Tonali. They're two ballers, right?
Yeah.
But do you give up one to fund the rebuild around you? Because that's the only way I see Eddie Howe being able to have a transfer window. They're going to take losses now for not being in European football. And unfortunately, having all the surplus of cash behind them, but still being too small a team to spend it.
Yeah.
So I'm not getting excited about it, Kieran, because he's an easy link. But who says no to Sandro Tonali? Tonali, next question, Tonali or Guimaraes? We asked this before, but after seeing European football and another Premier League game in, Tonali or Guimaraes?
Tonali for me.
Tonali.
Okay.
I like Tonali.
Tonali. I'm a Guimaraes fan.
I like both. Don't get me wrong.
Tonali for me.
To me, Adam Wharton and Elliot Anderson are competent, not spectacular, but competent holding midfielders as well. They'll busy themselves, they'll get around, they'll make tackles, and they'll get stuck in. You know, the English players tend to do that. They're not shy in the physical side of the game because it's how they grow up. And I think that would free Guimaraes. I think Tonali's more of a deeper player, deeper line playmaker type. Comes deep, gets the ball. He is decent going forward, but I think Guimaraes is the better attacking centre mid.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big fan of both. I think they're both being captain. I think we have a Bruno. And they're kind of similar kind of captain players. No, you can't never too many leaders in your team. But I think Tonali, you know, he has the bit of arriving late in the box. He can score goals. He's big and he's strong and he's powerful. He can run. You know, he'll run all day for you. Like you've seen clips from there recently in 90th minute stoppage time. Boston, they got rolling all the way down the pitch. You know, and it's something that, you know, I think would really boost United's midfield and something United don't have in the midfield at the minute in abundance. And I think, if Bruno stays another year, Bruno Fernandes, you bring in an Anderson, a Tonali, or a Wharton, or a Baleba, whoever you bring in, and Kobe in the squad as well. It's a big. It sounds fantastic on paper. If it all fits together.
So, I have a shocking statistic for you, right? And it's only because I had this conversation with somebody the other night. Okay? So, Sandro Tonali and Bruno Guimaraes, Kieran, right?
Yeah.
Bruno Guimaraes has not scored one goal in the Premier League this season. No, lies. Sandro Tonali has not scored one goal in the Premier League this season. Sandro Tonali only has 2 assists in 29 games. Bruno Guimaraes has been injured more than Sandro Tonali and has played 27 games. In those 27 games, he has scored 9 times and got 4 assists for a very pure Newcastle team. Bruno Guimaraes is accredited as one of the most creatively attacking players in the Premier League. Right? I think he's in the top 10. Yeah. Newcastle have been shit.
Oh, yeah.
Really poor. But I just think, and it blew my mind when I heard it. I was like, Tonali has scored in the Premier League, but he hasn't. Not this season. Not one goal. He's really struggled.
That's surprising,
isn't it?
Yeah.
And I wasn't saying that to catch anyone out. It shocked me, but then it made me think about the two players' individual styles. And Kieran's exactly right. Tonali does burst late into the box, right? But not with the ball. Whereas Bruno Guimaraes has this magic ability to do a bit like what Kobe Mainoo does on a greater scale. He jinx. He moves in really tight spaces, gets beyond someone, thrashes the ball across the box, and then ends up either in the back of the net or comes out to somebody in the score. So he gets those scrappy, dirty goals from midfield that I think United do not get from Casemiro and Kobe Mainoo. Our midfielders, Casemiro scores goals, right?
That's fair. Scores 9 goals.
We can no longer smile Arsenal for set pieces because we are just as bad. That's where our main goals come from. But Bruno Guimaraes gives you, 13 goal contributions from the central midfielders, not to be sniffed at.
No, definitely
not. It's not, and he's a big, strong lad, too, isn't
he? But yeah, it really caught me out. 29 games, Kieran. Tonali has no goals and 2 assists.
Just to me in my head.
He is a brilliant footballer, but he's had a really poor season.
Is he kind of similar? Is he a central midfielder or is he another 10? He's more of a central.
For me, Bruno Guimaraes plays, right? So if you were thinking Manchester United, right, if Tonali and Guimaraes came into the team together, Guimaraes is going to play in front of Tonali and Tonali is going to play in the arc to sweep up in midfield, and as that relief midfielder that you play the ball back to that keeps the play going, dictates pace and passes the ball around and moves it and can also come forward himself. Bruno Guimaraes is the player that turns on a sixpence and drives with the ball. And Tonali could do that too, but I think when Tonali is in the team with Guimaraes, he eats that role. So he says, right, Guimaraes is going to go forwards, I need to sit. And he sits a lot more, which probably lends itself to his diminishing returns this season because Guimaraes has been running the show.
Yeah,
but
Tonali's been sweeping.
Yeah, the two lads have each other and they don't play with a 10. I think Bruno Fernandes would be the conduit to do what Tonali does in that deeper space. Guimaraes would be the player to run for me. And if I was to pick my perfect midfield right now, instead of Adam Wharton, I would want Elliot Anderson to sit and marshal my midfield and let Guimaraes and Bruno Fernandes go and do their thing and ensure that the back line is always protected, that he can move forward with the team as well. He can lend, like Elliot Anderson can score goals. He's a decent shot on him. But I would just want him to sit in that deep role, Guimaraes to play a bit further forward for me. But then again, Sandro Tonali could probably play that role and maybe he doesn't do it for Newcastle, so therefore Guimaraes looks like the star,
Yeah, but I think it's going to be very interesting.
I do think one of the Newcastle midfielders is leaving.
110, yeah. I think that they need a big summer. If they're not going to get anywhere in Europe, then they need, like you said, they're going to have to sell. I think they're going to have to sell one prized asset, and they're not going to make the same mistake. Yeah, they made the mistake they made with Isak and tried their best to hold on to him and dragged it out and left it late, and then they eventually give in, had to sell Isak for whatever amount of money, and then what time do they have left to get a viable replacement for one of the best strikers in the Premier League when he's on song, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, Isak, you know.
They're very unlucky with injuries. I like Visa.
Visa, yeah.
He's always injured.
Mm-hmm. I know. I was impressed when
So another one, the last one to finish off, okay? Does Carrick get the job?
I think so. I think it's looking likely. You're just nodding.
That was love. I didn't know what way you were going there, Mum. That was stoic faced, and then
No, because I was going to say, if you can't get the man who I want, well then, I said it in the last podcast, if you can't get Luis Enrique, get Michael Carrick, should be in the running.
That's what I'm thinking.
Look, a girl can dream, Rory. Do you know what I mean? He's my man. I want Luis Enrique.
That can't be the standard. It can't.
Well,
if they don't get the best in the world, then I'll take Michael Carrick. What a mad statement, Mum.
No, what I'm saying in Jackie Mag's way is that Michael Carrick is just as good as the rest of them. There's there, and everybody else is there. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just that's just the way I feel.
You're on board as well, Kieran?
Yeah, no, I think, he hasn't given much of a reason so far to not be in the running for the job. And, if he continues on the last 8 games left, and I think we need 10 points, like 10 or 11 points to secure guaranteed Champions League football. Which when Ruben Amorim got the sack and Carrick came in, you would have bit your hand off to even say that sentence, to be so close Champions League and beating all the top managers around him. And I think if he continues on and gets another, loses probably will lose 1 or 2. You're not expecting to win every game, but sticking in that top 4, top 3, he's definitely going to be in the run. And like Jackie said, if there's not a Luis Enrique, they're obviously going to interview other candidates or other names. So I think Carrick's definitely throwing his name in the hat. But I think at the minute, if there doesn't seem any names floating about there, if there's no standout manager candidate available that would obviously boost Manchester United going into the Champions League next year, Carrick for short-term 2-year contract, see how it goes, see what you can do. And a transfer window coming up that's apparently going to be a very big transfer window, according to the usual journalists for Fabrizio and all the rest are saying United's going to have a big summer.
They had a big summer last year, so last year's the template. You would imagine they'll fix the midfield this year and explore the defence.
Yeah, I would say midfield, and they'll
but everybody's going on about... Yeah, but they're going on about this transfer window and saying, we wouldn't leave it to Michael Carrick. And that Michael Carrick will be consulted if he's there, but it'll all be down to Jason Wilcox and what do you call the other guy? Vivell or whatever it is. But I mean, it won't be Michael Carrick goes in with a shopping list. No. Jason Wilcox and the scouts have done their homework, apparently. And they're the ones that have identified key positions and key players for those positions.
I think Michael Carrick will want British acquisitions, okay? I think Manchester United are coming around under Jason Wilcox, the British acquisition.
Jason Wilcox, sorry to interrupt, Rory, but Jason Wilcox will as well.
Exactly. Wilcox and Carrick will want a British core, Manchester-based football team. And I crowed a couple of months ago that's what I wanted to. I wanted to see United come back to its English-British roots and build a team around some core English talent, because I think England, in terms of a talent pool at the minute, are one of the top 5 in the world. I honestly do. In terms of talent coming through, the abundance of players that are being produced, I think the English players are there. So I'm not worried about the transfer window. The one thing I would leave people with, if anyone is going to listen to me about the managerial appointment, is stop thinking about what could be and start looking at what Carrick has done. We have been with what could be season on season on season, and it has ended in nothingness. And I know a lot of the pundits and journalists and stuff are saying, experience this, big club, big job, has in the interim, or what can he do? Drown out the noise and just look at the body of proof of work that man has put in the past couple of weeks. It's been miles better than Ten Hag, and it was better than Ruben Amorim. He deserves the chance. Kieran has the exact plan I would implement. 2-year contract, take it on a permanent basis. You'll be backed in the transfer market. You'll be consulted like Ollie wasn't. There's a support network around you. Everything to succeed with a new training facility, new stadium on the horizon. And if you do well, happy days. And if you don't, similar to Ollie, you're a club legend. We will thank you and move you on. There'll be no abuse.
Yeah, I agree.
There'll be no bad blood there either. You know, he's got, I think, when you mentioned Ollie there, sorry, is like one thing Carrick has now, he's a far better football and structure around him than what Ollie did.
Yeah. He has a support network.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that was a big thing.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, folks, thanks for listening to us this week. Obviously, Manchester United not playing for another couple of weeks, but we will be back next week to talk about FA Cup and look ahead to the game against Leeds. I love playing Leeds, but I hate Leeds at the same time. I don't know what it is. It's like ingrained in you, isn't it? I can't stand Leeds fans. I can't stand Leeds football team. Every time it comes up to United and Leeds, I'm buzzing for them. Like, I hope we smash them.
Yeah, it's going to be a fast
I can't because my postman sports Leeds.
I know there's a big Leeds club in Uri, isn't there?
It's a bad mouth.
Huge. But folks, thanks for listening to this. Check us out in the socials. Leave us a wee like on YouTube, and we will see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Yeah, folks.